Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm so excited to be filming this video because we love to do a little seasonal everyday makeup look around here. And though it is still technically spring, the sun is shining, the warm weather is coming to us this weekend, and it sure as heck feels like summer to me. So today I'm going to be filming an everyday makeup look for summer. Some of the products that I've been using and loving and wanting to put on my face as we enter the new season. I've got a little rash going on, my skin's looking a little angry, and we're just gonna give ourselves a little extra love and a little summer glow to start the day off right. So every time I don't show sunscreen, people always yell at me, even though my sunscreen is what I keep in the bathroom. So just know, I've put my serum and my moisturizer on, and I did bring my sunscreen here, so that I can show you that I do apply my sunscreen and no one will yell at me here. Okay, so we're just gonna put a little bloop of that on, make sure we're nice and covered. This is how I do it with this particular one because it's got the little thin spout. And I just rub that in. Now because I do have a little rashy rash, I've got a little breakout along my face, so I'm gonna be opting for a little bit of extra coverage today, but just know that another beautiful option for everyday summer makeup, whoops, sorry, just putting that on my testicles. Ooh, it went down real bad. Another lovely option that I love to wear for my everyday makeup or my no makeup, summer makeup, whatever, is a tinted sunscreen. So we can do another little version. Maybe we'll do like another 5-minute version at a later date, but just know, whatever your preferred base is, you can go with that. Sunscreen is on, we're good to go. Now the product that I am using on the daily right now, giving a little test, I just want to see how I feel about it, is the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Enhancing Tint. I love the packaging of this. Now this is very light coverage. Take a couple drops on the back of our hand or pour it all out. I don't know why I just did that. That was an accident. Anyway, for summertime skin, for my more sweaty skin, I do like to have a lighter base all around. And even though I'm still in the testing phase with this, I don't have my final thoughts on it yet. It lasts so well throughout the day. It looks so natural. It really blends into the skin so beautifully. For the summertime sunshine, when you're outside, it is nice to have some makeup that isn't completely visible once that, you know, really harsh direct sunlight hits the face, you know? So this is gonna be a lovely option. Then we can just use this to even out the skin tone all over, get a nice base to work with, and then if we want to go ahead and spot conceal those pesky little breakouts or add any more coverage anywhere, we can do that with concealer. But I'm starting out with this base and it is so pretty. Now we just finished the month of May where we do Everyday May, and one of the last makeup videos that I did was pretty much the look that I'm doing here today. And I was like, listen, if you see an everyday summer makeup and it looks very similar to this, it's because it is. It's because these products have been very loved by me recently. And it's a good routine and we're gonna stick by it. But look at that tint. It's honestly so pretty. And it's not as light as a lot of tinted moisturizers and skin tints that are out there. Like, it does have a little bit of coverage to it, so you do feel like if you just had 5 seconds to slap something on, this is something that you could rub in with your fingers and you would just have that nice evened out glow to your face, which I love. And might I repeat again, undetectable on the face. Now for bronzer contour, I always love to go for an option that kind of does both. When I'm doing my everyday makeup, I simply can't be bothered to reach for a separate contour and a separate bronzing product. So I like to pick a shade that's a little bit more cool tone that I can just slap all over my face. The e.l.f. Tan Lines Putty Bronzer is one of my favorites, and recently pulled this back out of the stash, and I just love this color so much. As the summer goes on and maybe I'll dibble dabble with more fake tan, I'll need to grab something deeper, but for my skin right now, this is perfect. When I apply this, I like to apply it right onto my cheekbones, and then I take it onto my eyelid, and I just feel like this really just gives the illusion that this glow is natural, and that I did in fact wake up like this. So I pretty much apply it all over my cheek, and then whoop, right up in there. And then always take that up onto the forehead as well. And I'll just toss out a friendly reminder to those of us who have a little bit, you know, sparse hairlines, a little bit uneven action here. Don't forget to take that like up into your hairline. Also, don't forget to wash that off at the end of the day. But sometimes, like if you're a person who gets ready with the headband on and you just go ahead and apply it and then you're just stuck with this little white line all along your hairline. So even though it's not always the most effective thing, I always try to remind myself to take it up into the hairline, or else I'm going to have a very bright shining white line when I step outside, and that's not a look that we want. Maybe it is. Maybe it's a look you want. It's not a look I want. Finally, we'll take this along the jawline. I have been going lighter and lighter with my application of this because I have been caught, unfortunately, no matter how much I blend or how much I think I'm blending, sometimes I'll see a photo later on and I'm like, oh my god, I had a line. So I've just been using less and less and less along here, but I do think it's nice to have some kind of something connecting the oodles and oodles of bronze that we put onto the cheek onto the jawline area. But just, you know, be warned, it is visible if you're not careful. And lastly, we'll put a little dibble dibble onto the nose. I'm not being precious about this. I'm literally just slapping it onto my nose. I feel more alive and summery already. Now, I've really been struggling with keeping up with the underpainting life, and I instantly want to go in with the concealer, but I know that for all the underpainting girlies out there, we're now meant to go in with our cream blush, so I'm just going to do that today. I'm using the Nude Sticks Sun-Kissed SPF tint. This is amazing. It's an extra layer of SPF, and it's so pretty in the shade Sun-Kissed. It really is so perfectly named. It really does just give you that sun-kissed look to the cheeks. It emphasizes and adds on to that gorgeous glow that we're just wanting the sun to give us. So I apply that onto my hand, take a little brush, and I'm gonna put that on the cheeks. It's like bronzy, but it's pink, you know? It's a really good mixture of both worlds, and it applies so nicely. This is one of the greatest things that Nude Sticks has ever given to the world, truly. And I'm pretty much gonna apply that in the same way that I applied the bronzer onto my cheeks. Like I'm applying it all over my cheek, and then I'm gonna bring it up and also put that onto the eyelid because I just like it all to melt and blend in together. I'm not gonna take it all the way up onto my head and on my jawline, but just this area, I really like to cover the whole thing. And don't forget the nose. It's such a pretty color. I love it. Love it. And because it's liquid, you also just automatically get that glow onto the skin. It's like, yes, I'm glowing naturally, thank you. Okay, now we're gonna go in with concealer. I'm gonna use the Armani Luminous Silk Concealer. I have this one in the lighter shade of the few shades that I have. This is the shade 4, and I'm just gonna use this to brighten up the center of my face. And then I also like to go in with the shade 5 and just add a little bit of this one around too. And that is not necessary for everybody. I'm just kind of in between these shades, so that's what I like to do. The shade 4 is a little bit brighter. It's a little bit more yellow. This one's slightly deeper. It's a little bit more neutral, so I'm just going to use that to add some extra coverage where I need it. But it will all be blended out the same. If you require but one shade of concealer, then I applaud you and I envy you. And I'm just going to blend this out with my brush. Might I say, I have been dabbling a lot more with my beauty blender recently. It must be the warmth, the warmth in the air coming out and me wanting more juicy, dewy, very juicy, dewy skin. But I do like to blend this out with the brush. I find that I can just be a little bit more precise with the placement, brighten up those eyes. I think these more precise brushes can be really great if you are very precise with your makeup application. A lot of the times I am lazy and I just like to throw it on, but the beauty blender can be really helpful if you tend to have a lot of excess product, you apply too much. It kind of just helps in removing any of that excess product and makes it look a little bit more natural with the skin. So if you are using something with a bit more coverage, you want it to look a little bit more natural, the beauty blender really nicely removes any of that excess product. So you can kind of use a mix of both, whatever you feel. But I've blended out that concealer. Now I just go back in with my blush brush and I'm not added any more product, but I just go over top again because it just helps to melt the two layers together. So you don't even have to use the same brush, you can use a clean brush, but just to make sure that everything is all blended together, it helps to go over and just do a wash of it. Now for the setting powder, this is the Laura Mercier setting powder. I'm going to use a very small amount of this on a brush. Take it with the brush, pat it out in the palm of my hand, get rid of all that excess powder, and then I'm going to set that concealer in. I'm doing such a light amount of this because again, I don't want it to be visible in the daylight. I've got very dry skin. If I wanted to be extra long lasting, extra glam, you could do a little baking moment. Baking and me don't really get along, but I definitely need to set it in with powder because I just don't like to look very oily and shiny here underneath my eyes and my nose, and that's just where I get the most shiny. So a little bit of setting powder does help. Now continuing on with setting powder, now I'm going to take my powder bronzer. I don't always do this, but I am in the mood today. I'm not always in the mood for doubling up on my bronzer, but today is that day. So I'm going to take my powder bronzer. This is the Dior Backstage powder, and just taking a very light amount of this around the perimeter of my face. And on a day like today where I'm feeling particularly sweaty, this can be helpful to set in all around the face and just add another layer of blending everything together. So I just take a fluffy brush and I do this all around. But then for my everyday makeup, I also love to take this on my eyelids. And because we put the e.l.f. Putty bronzer on there, I also want to set this in. So I'm just taking a big fluffy brush and I'm just very lightly applying that all over. Obviously, this everyday makeup look is a nice base for you to build on top of, so if you wanted to have an extra glam moment, this is the time where you could do some eyeshadow or do a little cream eyeshadow. You could do a little liner. The world is your oyster. Your options are limitless, so I just like to put a little wash of something, and this is a really nice shade. Now for setting spray, I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush setting spray. Spray that all on. It really smells so good. I'm going to take my brow gel and set in my brows. I did fill in my brows before we started filming because it's my least favorite part of my makeup journey. And I often get very grumpy while doing so. So we just get the gel here. I'm also going to toss on a little bit of brown mascara. This is the YSL Lash Clash in the shade 2. I don't always opt for mascara for my everyday, but we'll put an extra special layer on for you here today. This is also pretty much completely dried up. I need a backup. I just love the soft volume that this gives. It's so light and fluttery, it's so pretty. Barely there, but just makes you look a little bit more alive. Now for lips, we've got a few options. We can just do the everyday kind of gloss life. We can do a little bit of a bold lip. Again, that's the beauty of just having your bases covered. Let's start with lip liner. I'm gonna use the Freck 03 lip pencil. Love this formula, love this color. It's so easy to apply. And you can pretty much just take that by itself, blend it into your lip, wear a little bit of lip balm, and you're good to go. Don't do what I just did and wipe it all over your face. I got too excited. So you can leave the lip liner there, add a little bit of gloss. This is the Armani Prisma Glass in the shade 2, which is a very nice, lovely little pink. And you could leave the makeup there. And this could be the end of your everyday summer makeup. Love this, so fresh, so glowing. Truly my go-to for my everyday makeup always, and I love this collection of products. But we could also build upon this to just add a little bit more color. So let me just take a little bit of this gloss off. And obviously my favorite color to play with forever is orange, so we're gonna just inject this look with some orange. So starting with Nude Sticks Picante, taking this on a brush as well. And we're just gonna add that right on top for a little bit of extra color. She's gorgeous, she's perfect. And I'm also a blush gal, so I do like to have quite a bit of color on my face. And whether you agree or not, whether or not you're a blush lover, you might just not feel the same, but I personally like to have a lot of life put into my cheeks. And this is good for the lips as well. So I just apply that on straight from the stick, and then I just take my finger and blend it into my lip liner, and that gives it a little bit more of like a lighter, more natural feel. You can leave it totally intense if you wanted to, or you can just have a little bit of a lighter kiss of orange. Now I'm also gonna put highlight on because this is a matte blush. So I'm gonna take a little bit of the Danessa Myricks Tierra Vision Flush, and I'm just gonna apply that with my hand right on the tops of my cheeks, just to make sure that the glow is glowing. Just a little touch of something, something. Now I know that for those of you who have been here all this time, you know that always I'm screaming about Picante because this is my love child that I made with Nude Sticks. So she is always here, but especially going into the summertime, this is where Picante season, it's Picante season for me. Really, truly. Summertime is Picante. But I just love that it's so versatile and you can use a little bit to just add a little bit of extra color, give your life a little bit more color in your everyday makeup, and it doesn't have to be so crazy, it doesn't have to be so intense. So you can use it to its full capacity, go full pigment, full orange, or just add an extra little touch to your everyday makeup for a little bit more color. So we've got options, we've got colors, we've got no color. Do whatever your heart tells you. But my friends, that is the finished makeup vlog. That is everything for my everyday summer makeup. We are ready for the new season over here, feeling the summer vibes, and I hope you love the makeup look. So please let me know in the comments down below what you think. Let me know what some of your products are to bring out for the summertime. Lots more summer inspired content ahead. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for being here and for watching, and I'll see you all very soon for a new one. Bye!